Welcome everyone to One Warrior Wrestling USA, live as always from Washington, D.C. And we have got a fantastic match to start off here tonight as Daphne Dangerously looks to take on Neva Leslie. It was just last week that Daphne Dangerously came oh so close to becoming the Dragon Queen champion against Estrella Elite. But her bid was unfortunately unsuccessful. She finds herself back in the dojo, back in the saddle, taking on Neva Leslie, a fantastic competitor in her own right. Daphne Dangerously with an impressive performance here tonight could find herself right back in the hunt for the Dragon Queen Championship. But it is important that she does not overlook Neva. Speaking of, here is Neva Leslie, looking fired up to be here in DC. Know that she has an incredible amount of potential, but it does remain to be seen if she will be able to capitalize upon it. Neva Leslie making her debut here in 1WW USA. In our opening contest, no less, all eyes on both of these women. So let's get into this one. Ring the bell. Let them loose. Neva Leslie starting off with the tight game with that fantastic cravat suplex. Got to keep Daphne at an arm's length. Neva Leslie with a nice senton attack there as well. Starting off hot on Daphne Dangerously, but Daphne interjects that elbow to the midsection. Oh goodness, looking for that power game already. Snap bomb, but she isn't done. Look at the transition into the Samoan drop. A frankly shocking display of power there. Jaw jacker from Neva, though, gets her back into the game with a big judo hip toss. Putting the boots to her as well. Running face breaker there by Dangerously. Dragon suplex puts her back in the center of the ring, and that is not a fun place to land, believe you me. Shot to the stomach there from Leslie. Grab and slam Dangerously and putting the kicks to her immediately. Fantastic staying on. That was about 10 straight roundhouses to the midsection. And now grabbing her in a position here, precarious. Walks her through with that backbreaker, but she's not done yet, showing that she's not going to be subjugated to Daphne's power game one-sidedly, but then showing that she also has the agility. Daphne, though, managed to get up before Neva could connect. Daphne Dangerously now looking to retake control with the back body drop and the nip up as well. And that right there is the difference in power that these two women have. And now an exploder suplex from Daphne Dangerously stays on her. Neva Leslie starting to recover. Daphne spins around, interjects the knee, and follows through with the discus line. Fantastically done. Daphne looking to grab Neva here. Release belly to belly, and Neva may be paying for all that she did to Daphne in the early portion of this match. Now just has a chin lock, more of just a head crank. Locked in. Neva Leslie has Daphne trapped and caught her with a half and half face buster and a nice jumping elbow as well. Staying on the arm. Neva goes for the stomp, but Daphne's back up. A very back and forth matchup here. Roundhouse spins Daphne inside out, and that drop kick to the back was a fantastic crescendo there. Went for a shoulder tackle, but Daphne got the knee up. That could have just knocked her unconscious. Has her here, went for the choke slam, but reversed, and a fantastic arm drag, but Neva countered with the kick from Daphne. Daphne now countered with the jaw jacker, back and forth, hither and yon. Back in for the cravat suplex, in for a penny, in for a pound as she throws her overhead. Daphne to her feet, runs in, another face breaker knee smash from Daphne dangerously, and now picking up Neva Leslie here. Went for the knee, but Neva a little quicker, throws her in the corner now. Neva Leslie shooting Daphne. Daphne reversing, backflip out of the corner by Neva. Duck the line and fly through with the elbow. Fantastic hit. And Neva Leslie on fire. Goes for the cover after the thumping elbow. 1, 2, but only garners the 2. Referee Mark Meltzer calls it 2. Neva Leslie staying on top of her. Big lumbar check from Leslie. Went for the kick, but Daphne had the counter. Daphne back in control, throwing Neva into the corner. Neva managing to escape. Daphne got hit low, went for it a second time, and Daphne paid her in kind with that headbutt. And now dangerously grabbing her, another back body drop, and another nip up by Daphne dangerously. Nice dragon screw there on the leg, but dangerously back in it with the jawbreaker. Runs in and takes her head off with the knee trembler. 1, 2. Kick out by Neva at 2 off the knee trembler. Daphne dangerously could have Neva right where she wants her. Throws her in the corner. Up on the top rope. Oh, goodness. Choke slam off the top. 1, 2, 3. No, Neva barely kicked out of the top rope choke slam. Daphne thought she had her. Going for the choke breaker now, has her hooked. Choke breaker, no, countered at the last possible second by Neva Leslie. Daphne back up, runs in, caught by Leslie. Back suplex, nip up, leg drop, leaping backwards. Neva Leslie stays on it. Big monkey flip there by Neva Leslie, and stays on the arm, trying to make it harder for her to choke slam in the future. Very smart, focusing on the arm as she has. Spins her around. And another lumbar check by Neva Leslie. Picks up dangerously. Kick. Has her in position. Gory bomb incoming. Nails it. Traps the legs. We've seen Neva do this before. The double inverted Boston Crab applied. Trapping the arms, the legs, and much of the midsection. And Daphne forced to submit to that devastating hold. Neva Leslie picks up the win, but it was not an easy one. Daphne dangerously gave her a run for her money. As we let Neva celebrate, what a fantastic opening contest we have witnessed, and we're going to move into the next match. And as we get into our next contest, it is time to begin the Dragon Warrior Championship Tournament. The Dragon Warrior Championship was often considered the title for the hardest worker in all of professional wrestling, held 6 times by Axel Hyatt, 3 times by Cazador Dragon, twice by Kazuya Mitsushi, and it was held in high contention at some points throughout history, being considered one of the most prestigious championships of all time. Now being reactivated, and it is being decided in a single elimination tournament. Up first, we have got Kyle Moore and Wade Urena, two men who made their names as champions in different promotions but have never encountered one another despite being passing ships in the night. Both active at the same time in some similar places, but never really got to that point. And Wade Urena definitely may look a little different to when you have seen him last. Wade Urena, a multiple-time champion in multiple different divisions, former world champion, but he's changed up his attitude. And will that lead him to success here in the Dragon Warrior Championship Tournament? Big ol' Wade, as they call him. Let's get into this one. Who will be the first to stake their claim at the semifinals? Big ol' Wade went for a fireman's carry, but Kyle Moore getting those elbows in and quickly showing that that power game ain't going to work on him. Double legs the big man. And that right there is brave. Pie facing a man who's got 150 pounds on you. That is brave, or maybe a little bit foolish, trying to grab him by the hair, but big old Wade gets out of the way and kicks his leg out of his leg. Picking him up in the fireman's carry once again. Moore getting those elbows in. We know how deadly the strikes of Kyle Moore are. We've been made aware of that on many an occasion. Gamengiri putting to work. Kyle Moore giving Wade his space. You got to respect it, even if you don't like his methods. Kyle Moore, a man who respects the game. Kick from Moore lands hard. And the back elbows coming in from Wade Urena. Overhead toss nearly landed Kyle Moore out of the ring, but he got a little lucky with his landing. Discus punch. Thought he could have been looking for discus and gravy, but not quite. Into a falling punch as well, using the momentum to his advantage. Dragon screw by Moore to the leg, but Wade Urena got the kick up. Don't let his size fool you. Wade Urena is a hard hitter, but he's quite agile as well. And a nice overhead toss once again. Wade Urena going in for that discus punch one more time. And the stomp this time once again goes for the kick. And again, Kyle Moore gets the dragon screw in. Had it scouted. Kick stops all that momentum. And Kyle is just laying in those strikes. Half hatch into the Muay Thais. And now Kyle targeting that leg. Wade Urena not wearing any knee pads. Very smart to target that area. But then right there is a case of why you don't, as that had to hurt a lot more than if he were padding those knees. Kyle Moore now in a precarious position as Wade Urena picks him up and just snake eyes him. And another big fist drop to the face of Kyle Moore. Wade Urena picked him up, and Kyle nearly knocked him out with that step-up punch. 1, 2. Nearly got the win out of nowhere with that step-up punch. Kyle in the corner. Looking for it. Running knee trembler from Kyle Moore. In for the cover. Gets a 2, but not quite the 3. Kyle Moore hitting him with some incredible shots. Another knee strike there for good measure. Now just grabbing Wade Urena, trapping him in the Cobra clutch, and turns it into a crossface. That right there is a tough hold. Wade may be forced to tap here, but Kyle not quite able to get the submission. I thought that Wade was going down, Kyle, I think, did too, but Wade survived. Kyle Moore up to the top, went for the King Kong, but did not connect, and Wade may have him in position. Kick from Urena, looking to turn him inside out here. Oh, goodness Lord. Big pump handle slam there from Wade. Urena went for discus and gravy, but Kyle had the counter. Off the ropes with the cutter. Kyle Moore spiking him. And now could be looking to get him up. Psycho driver incoming, but Wade's too big. Uses his size to get down. Kyle Moore is a strong man, but Wade just a little too big. Hits the gravy train. And Kyle Moore could be out on his feet. Wade picks him up. And just tossing him like yesterday's garbage, and he forgot to throw it out. 1, not even 2. Kyle Moore ever defiant, kicking out before 2. Wade Urena gonna make him pay. Beal throw to Kyle Moore. Kyle pushing back against him though. Grabs him, step up punch once again. A signature maneuver of Kyle Moore. 1, 2, kick out by Urena. Wade Urena managed to survive once again. Kyle Moore got him up before but couldn't follow through with the full move. Can he get it this time? Psycho driver, and Wade Urena, I believe, landed hard on the forehead. 1, 2. No, Wade able to survive barely after the psycho driver, and Kyle trying to just lay in the punches, but Urena having none of that. Wade Urena goes to the corner, but Kyle's back up. Kick from Kyle and the punches. He is furious. Wade Urena a different breed, but Kyle Moore a different breed as well. Big bicycle knee to the face. He's going to try and knock him out at this point. Pulls him in. Kame Goye from Kyle Moore. Oh no, looking for it again. A second Kame Goye. Kyle Moore is just trying to kill this man. Went for the moonsault but misaligned it. So decides to pull him in for a third Kame Goye. Good Lord. Went for a fourth, but Wade finally ever able to get it out, and now could be looking for the discus and gravy. No, just a Yakuza kick to the face. 1, 2. Kyle kicks out of that Yakuza kick. And this is just a preliminary matchup. This isn't even a semifinal, and it's a long way away from the final. These two men may not even make it that far. Wade Urena picking Kyle Moore up and just dropping him on the top rope. Spins him over, went for an attack, but Kyle kicked the back of the leg. He's been targeting it a little bit in this match, but not very much. More half-hatch knees and kicks. And now pulling him in for another bicycle knee. Kyle Moore could look to have him in the kill zone. Roaring elbow is countered. If anyone knows a thing or three about discus, it is Wade Urena. Nobody's going to hit him with a discus move. Big side headlock takeover as the blood begins to just spread across Wade's face. The kick. Oh, goodness. The pump handle face buster once again. All the blood on the face of Wade Urena. 1, 2. No, Kyle still survives. Wade can't believe it, and at this point he can barely see. Discus and gravy finally hits it. 1, 2, 3, and Wade mercifully gets the win in the preliminary matchup. Reminder, preliminary. He has to win 2 more matches if he wants to be the champion, but if they're anything like that, I don't think he'll even make it. Look at the blood on the face of Wade Urena. That is a warrior right there. Maybe a dragon warrior. And as we get into our next matchup, it's time to determine who will start the other half of the bracket. We know Wade Urena has advanced. We'll determine his challenger later. But now we have to set the other side, and it's going to be Johnny Gemini taking on CC Chambers. Two young men with a lot to prove. Johnny Gemini has made his name globally for the things he is willing to do for this industry. And so long as we don't have any appearances from a certain West Virginian cryptid, then I think Johnny Gemini stands a good chance of going all the way. But before I get too preemptive, he does have to make it out of the preliminaries. And to do that, he's got to defeat no joke CC Chambers. Of course, the winner of this match, their opponent, will be decided later tonight as well in the semifinals. The only thing they know for sure thus far is that they will not be facing Wade Urena in those semifinals, whoever the winner may be. So Johnny Gemini out here, looking ready for action, but he's got to take on the Triple C himself, CC Chambers. CC Chambers has been impressive in the past, but he is making his 1WW debut. As a matter of fact, everyone in the Dragon Warrior Championship tournament is making their 1WW USA debut. So, definitely will be a showcase of who could be the future of this brand in the, what some people call, workhorse division. And I can think of no way better to do it than in a tournament. But the Triple C takes on the JG. Who comes out on top? We will find out here tonight. Moves out of the way, and Johnny Gemini starting on the back foot as those lethal kicks of CC Chambers even hit a Uraken as well, but Johnny back into it already, looking for a suplex. Chambers manages to float over to the back and hits a less than snug German, but still got the connection where he needed it. Chambers off the ropes, knee lift into a neck breaker. Gemini right back up as he goes after the leg and laying in those springboard punch to the back of the head. Chambers landing awkwardly, but still managing to put himself in the splash zone for Gemini's fist drop, but couldn't quite connect with it. And CC Chambers has him where he wants him now, lifts him up. Inverted Michinoku driver from Chambers to the middle rope. Diving nothing, and Gemini moved out of the way. Springboard cutter. And this one is starting off a little bit rough. You can definitely tell that these two are jockeying for position. They do not want to give an inch, and neither is giving any quarter. And expecting none in return as CC now trying to get some offense strung together, but what a chop from Johnny Gemini into that running facebuster variation. And a fist drop from Johnny Gemini. Johnny Gemini, while he may not light the world on fire with the most flashy offense, what he does is technically sound and brutally proficient. CC Chambers went for that double stomp again, but ever the consummate professional, Johnny Gemini had the counter. Runs in with a couple of forearms. Click the heels on his way out for the close. Actually, a forearm. Looked like he was going for a clothesline, but follows through with the bulldog. And Johnny Gemini definitely playing the more interesting game, I would say, as he has just not given anything to Chambers. And you can even see there, Chambers had to fight with everything he had to even get Gemini up for that gourd buster. Big knee lift into the neck breaker again. And Chambers not even able to capitalize as Gemini right back to his feet. Blood in the water, Impaler DDT, and Gemini still getting right back up. He is not even taking a second to rest. Hits that Uraken. Johnny Gemini may be going a little faster than his own body can even take, but that right there is what the Dragon Warrior Championship Tournament means. Backdrop driver into the corner of the ring. Springboard attempt was blocked, or rather misaligned. Gemini has him up in that electric chair. Elbow right to the back of the head, and that is marked for death, but Chambers back to it. Capture the leg into the gum, and Gary twists the arm, working on the rotator cuff of Johnny Gemini, but Gemini just laying in those shots. Gemini not wearing any elbow pads and only one knee pad, so he can lay in a lot of damage. Fist drop, and Chambers is busted open. That could be a bloody nose, maybe a cut around the forehead. It's tough to say at this current juncture, but Chambers is back up and throws Gemini into the corner, but Gemini reversing, and this has just been a constant jockeying for position. They've been going at each other for about 4 or 5 minutes, and it still feels like it could be the opening 10 seconds. Those clubs weren't enough, but the double underhook brainbuster may set him up perfectly as he hits the tornado kick on Johnny Gemini. 1, 2. Nearly got the win over Gemini, but not quite enough. You're going to have to hit a little more than that, kid. As he could be looking for the Styles Clash here. Lifts him up, steps it through, and drops him hard. Could be looking to have the win here. 1, 2. Gemini kicks out once again. CC Chambers, you can tell the frustration getting to the youngster. Not much experience in wrestling. CC Chambers definitely can't afford to let his inexperience shine through. Johnny Gemini with the snapmare out of the corner and just follows through with that drop kick. That is brutal. Johnny Gemini looking to fly here. Calling CC Chambers to attention. What does he have in mind? Diving attack, but Chambers was just barely saved by a misalignment by Gemini. Gemini quickly able to recover, though. Chambers backed into a corner quite literally as those half-hatch knees off the ropes. Drops the leg, comes crashing down. Must have hurt inside. And now Johnny Gemini transitioning into a triangle sleeper. Has the knee against the throat. No padding for his protection, as Chambers is going to have to fight like a dog to get out of this one, and it looks like he did just that, but how much damage was done? Picks him up, atomic drop, and now drop kicked low from CC Chambers, but Gemini not even giving him the chance to capitalize off the ropes. Once again, the Terry Bollea special, the leg drop. Sweeps the leg of Gemini, does CC Chambers. Chambers went for an attack, but Gemini had the counter. Grabs him, went for the Gemini driver, but an inverted reversal into a Northern Lights. Gemini back up, running uppercut. Off the ropes once again with that leg drop. 1, 2. No, that was late. That was late. But the ref says CC kicked out. I'm not one to question him. Johnny Gemini clearly getting frustrated as he's going in for those Kame Goyes. Goes to spin him around, but CC reversing. CC up on the shoulders, but quickly reverses once again. Puts Johnny on the shoulders. Twists him out for an 8-second ride. And the tornado kick, and Johnny busted open now. But CC's not going to stop there. He wants to put him away for good. Has him up. Styles clash. 1, 2, 3, and CC Chambers gets the win. That right there was a wrestler's wrestling match. There was nothing given and everything taken in that one. CC Chambers showing the battle scar over his left eye as we move into our next contest. And now, as we bring you some tag team action, could be looking to determine some challengers for Gavin Daniels and El Rey Del Air. And if anyone could look to do it, the Kings Road aren't a bad shout. Dan Darnester, the Emerald Tiger. They've won tag team championships before. Can they do it again? Dan Darnester, a guy you can't afford to underestimate, especially with that darn drop kick looming. And then the Emerald Tiger, the master of Japanese wrestling, spent a great deal of time in the original One Warrior Wrestling, now finds himself in the U.S. counterpart nearly 25 years later. And then there is the curious case of DMP, Dr. Wrestling Jr. Medical Practice. You got the intern, you got the doctor. And now they make their debuts here. A night of debuts. Really, very few people who competed last week are still competing here, as we have so many people itching to get in one WWUSA, one of the fastest rising promotions in America today. So let's get into some tag team action. Single fall to a finish. Dan Darnester and Emerald Tiger both starting out on the very humongous Dr. Wrestling Jr. intern. Emerald Tiger and Dr. Wrestling Jr. tangling horns here as Emerald Tiger can't figure out where he wants to go. Dan Darnester getting pushed away by Dr. Intern Jr. Dan Darnester up and over as Dr. Wrestling Jr. hits that Spanish Fly. And now looking to dive, springboard DDT, and oh man, Darnester nearly thrown into the ring by Intern Jr. And now just lining him up. This can only end in the ring, so eyes currently focused on Emerald Tiger and Dr. Wrestling Jr. But Dan Darnester and Dr. Intern Jr. definitely have to keep their eyes on the ring as well. As now DWJ could be looking to get an implement, looking for some plunder. He grabs a chair, but Emerald Tiger not going to allow him to use it. Hits a suplex on the floor. Darnester firing himself up as Dr. Intern Jr. gets in the ring. And Dan Darnester locking him in a surfboard as Emerald Tiger has the chair. He is armed and dangerous. Oh, no, 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 no. Dan with the foot DDT. Oh my goodness, keep your eyes on Darnester. What's he looking for here? This is diabolical. Brining elbow from Dan Darnester. Absolutely diabolical. As now Dan Darnester, King Kong knee drop. And all the setup in the world he needs as Dr. Wrestling Jr. hits an attack, but Dr. Intern Jr. getting right back up. Like the brining elbow didn't even happen. And now Emerald Tiger has DWJ in a powerbomb position, precariously done. Darminator to Dr. Intern Jr. as Emerald Tiger throws DWJ in the ring, but it almost didn't matter. The Darminator nearly got the win. Dr. Intern Jr. is down, but he is fighting now on his feet. Has Dan Darnester in a position to do some damage. Oh, goodness. Powerbomb to the floor. And a shining elbow by the Emerald Tiger. Went for a second one, but DWJ got out of the way. Dr. Intern Jr. trying to make sure that he has some clients to work on as Dr. Wrestling Jr. hit the general anesthesia. Went for the 630, but nobody there as Emerald Tiger gets the knees up and Darnester has a chair and he's running and he's slamming. Tiger Driver from the Emerald Tiger. 1, 2, and the intern there to break it up early. And Emerald Tiger down, Dr. Wrestling Jr. down, it's Dan, and oh no, this is horrifying. Why does Darnester know how to do that? Pile driver to Dr. Intern Jr. Went for the roaring elbow, did Emerald Tiger, but Dr. Wrestling Jr. not allowing it, hits the DDT, and Darnester trying to get the fans on his side as DWJ rolls out of the ring. Darnester with a burning lariat. Wow, oh my God, every move this man does is just nightmare fuel. It really is. Dr. Wrestling Jr. now trying to rally up, but he's got both members of the Kings Road waiting on him. And Dr. Intern Jr. with a steel chair. Dr. Wrestling Jr. moves out of the way, and Emerald Tiger had no way to defend himself from that chair shot. Good Lord. And Danza swinging that Singapore cane. Dan is going to break that cane over Dr. Wrestling Jr., and he did just that. Emerald Tiger disarming Dr. Intern Jr. Half-hatch knees. Back suplex on the floor by Darnester as Emerald Tiger goes to work with that headlock. Spanish fly on the floor. Big boy senton is countered by the intern. Runs in, drop kick from Dr. Intern Jr. as another cane is procured, this time by Dr. Wrestling Jr. Showing how bad it hurts. Explode him suplex from Dr. Intern Jr. as Dan Darnester is a menace with these canes. Oh my God. Keep your eyes on Dr. Intern Jr. Moonsault. Another cane shattered. 2. Emerald Tiger kicks out of the moonsault. Dr. Intern Jr. countered, and Darnester now just getting worked over by Dr. Wrestling Jr. TKO on the floor to Dr. Wrestling Jr. As Emerald Tiger back up, grabs Dr. Intern Jr., puts himself in position for a Liger Bomb, though. Went for maybe a Rana, maybe a Frankenstein, or hard to call. And Dan Darnester is hunting. Don't hunt what you can't kill. As Dr. Intern Jr. procures a ladder. What does he even need that for? Nails Emerald Tiger, and he sets it up. I don't like where this is going. I really don't. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, the big sit from Dr. Intern Jr. as Darnester and Doc can't keep their hands off each other. Rising hand chop is countered. Emerald Tiger now just using the ropes to his advantage to lay in some devastating elbows. And now as a camel clutch drop. 1, 2. Darnester nearly got the win. Darny going up. Emerald Tiger has his moment marked. Oh, went for the elbow, but Darnester hit his head on the ladder. Tiger Driver. 1, 2, 3. The Kings Road get the win, and Darnester may have gotten a concussion. Oh, thank God we have a medical team, but goodness gracious. The Kings Road, baby, they get the win. But what a match. Dan Darnester with a preemptive celebration, and Emerald Tiger got the job done. And as we get into our next match, it is time for more coverage in the Dragon Warrior Championship Tournament. The winner of this match will be the one who goes on to face Wade Urena next week. So a lot on the line. Gonna try and get out quick and dirty. After seeing what Urena went through, they definitely don't want to go in as hurt as he is. Johnny Beginnis, the self-proclaimed godsend of pro wrestling, makes his way down the aisle first. This man right here is one to watch out for. Could look to make a deep run in this tournament, and even if he does not win the championship in it, I would not expect this man to give up so easily. Something tells me before the curtain falls, Johnny Beginnis will become synonymous with One Warrior Wrestling USA. I have never seen a more picture-perfect definition of a one chicken breast, two asparagus kind of guy than Johnny Beginnis. Let's see if he can put it to test against David Gardner. You know, David Gardner's been away for some time following a bit of a heinous assault by an unknown assailant at an independent wrestling show. Now it is time. Here he is, David Gardner, making his way down the aisle, and he looks ready to rip a man's head off. David Gardner back and in better form than ever. Former world champion, a man trained by the great John Williams, who actually has the dubious distinction of wrestling in the last ever match under the original One Warrior Wrestling in a losing bid to Kazuya Mitsushi. David Gardner hoping to not start off his tenure here with a loss. So let's get into this one. Two big, tall men in this one. Johnny Beginnis spins him out immediately up on the shoulders and just turning him around for a powerbomb, looking to get it here. 1, 2, nearly got the win on Gardner right away, showing that maybe ring rust could be playing a factor already. But David Gardner, the young man from Liverpool, England, not going to go down that easily. David Gardner lifting him up. Big vertical suplex, and that could already begin the changing of the tides. And now he's going to give to Johnny what Johnny gave to him, a stomp to the arm. This one is already starting out rough and tumble. And those are some stiff punches right to the nose. He ain't aiming for the forehead. He ain't aiming for the cheek. That's right on the bridge of the nose. Once again laying in those punches. Maybe trying to break his face. Jaw jacker from David and an uppercut. He does not care about Brexit because that's a truly European uppercut. And now just laying in the punches and now pulling him in. Regal bomb stacks him high. 1. Kick out by Beginnis, and this one is a hard-hitting affair already. Dropping the knee on the arm and went for the drop kick, but Beginnis moved out of the way and got him caught with the German. Now just picking apart the leg of David Gardner. And David Gardner's leg getting just dissected by Johnny Beginnis. But David Gardner with a European uppercut may have just knocked Beginnis clean out. But Beginnis with the knee manages to stay standing. Backbreaker. And another one before just tossing him aside. And Johnny Beginnis looking to drag Gardner back to a more favorable part of the ring. Stomp to the face, gets him in position. Power bomb, but he ain't done. Big knee as well from Beginnis. 1, 2, 3, and Johnny Beginnis gets the win. David may have been knocked out cold there. We may have to get a medical personnel out there to check on David Gardner after that one, because that was a stiff knee that got Johnny the win. I don't even think Johnny expected that to get the win, but he's certainly not complaining with the result. Next week it'll be him and Wade Urena. Move into the next match. And as we get into our next contest, we already know that the first bracket is going to be Wade Urena versus Johnny Beginnis. But now it's time to determine the second one, as who will go on to face CC Chambers will be determined right now. The King of New York, Jet Mulligan, taking on Principe Mascara. Jet Mulligan definitely has some interesting positions on pro wrestling, calling himself the King of New York, calling himself an indie fuckhead. But you can't deny that Jet Mulligan, he backs up every single thing that he says. If he says he's going to go out there and he says that he's going to go out there and hit someone with the Owen driver, if he says he's going to win a match, if he says he's going to declare war, then Jet Mulligan is either going to succeed or he's going to die trying. And he could walk out of here with a bid to win the Dragon Warrior Championship if he can make his way through Principe Mascara. I can promise you this, if you've never seen a Jet Mulligan match, you never, ever will forget your first. This guy's one of a kind, for better and worse. But he is taking on Principe Mascara. A man who has always been on the cusp of greatness, but never, ever able to achieve it in other places. Could now be the time. Could Washington, D.C. be the place? Only one of these men can go on to face CC Chambers next week, but neither of them, I can tell, intend on giving an inch, not even a centimeter. So let's get into this one. And Jet Mulligan starting off with the kicks. And now picking him up for a neck breaker as well. And Jet Mulligan, start as you mean to go on, punching at the Master Marauder. But Principe sweeps the leg and hits a standing shooter. Goes for a second and Mulligan gets the knees up. Never let him know your next move. Jet Mulligan pulls him in for a Saito suplex and hooks the leg. Goes in but only gets the one. Hooked it deep too. But it is just a little too early in the match to be putting him away. And now just stomping on him. Goes for the splash, but Mascara, the master of the ropes, not going to let that happen. Putting the boot on the back and just kicking him while he's down. Kicking a man's ass here. Principe grabs the arms. Could be looking for a pescado. Up the ropes, and he is with a flawless flourish arm drag. Principe grabbing the arm once again. He wants to do-si-do and monkey flip, and he drops him hard. This is the last of the preliminary matchups for the Dragon Warrior Championship Tournament. And Principe is working hard on that left arm, particularly the monkey flips, the arm drags, that arm assault. Principe Mascara, not usually who I would recognize as a technician, but clearly knows his stuff as he goes up to the top rope and wants Jet Mulligan to stand at attention. Diving! It looked like a cross body, but Mulligan was just out of position. But he's going to capitalize now with a big cross-jacket suplex, dropping Principe right on his neck. Picks him up and Yokozuka DDT. And the King of New York up to the middle rope. Diving axe handle. Really old school Arabian press, maybe more new school there. Pulls him in. The move of the night, the Kame Goye, and pulls him in for the cover. One. Kick out by Principe. Principe Mascara in a bad way as Jet Mulligan now he begins focus on the arm. Both of these men seemingly targeting the arm, but at what point does it become detrimental to them? Hooking that left arm, but only goes to a knee as he punches right in the stomach. And Principe Mascara once again grabbing the arm. Up the ropes for that pescado. Into the arm drag. Sends Jet across the ring. Picks him back up. Cazadora is destroyed with that knee. Looked like he could have been going for that Cazadora into the DDT that we know he has used in the past. Big drop by Jet Mulligan, but Principe back in. Principe up, Jet up, and he caught Principe with his own momentum. That's what I mean. Jet Mulligan is one of a kind. He definitely has his own eclectic way that he navigates this industry. Up to the top rope, the King of New York looking to fly. Double rotation moonsault. Goes for the cover. 1, 2, and Principe kicks out at 2. Lifting him up, Jet Mulligan throws him in the corner. Runs in, back elbow by Principe Mascara. Went for another one, but Jet had it countered. Big backbreaker, pushes him out, and the Yakuza as well. Jet Mulligan going up again. Could be looking for another moonsault. No, a swanton to Principe. Goes for the cover one more time. 1, 2. No, Principe barely got that shoulder up. Standing shooter, and Mascara gets the knees. That could be the big break he was looking for. No, Principe countered by that TNA kick from Mulligan. Kame Goye once again, and Principe has got to get back into this one. And Jet Mulligan with that forearm smash out of the corner. Dragon screw by Mascara, and he is really getting just flattened by Jet Mulligan as that shooter is done to perfection. And again with the Kame Goye. And focusing back on the arm of Principe Mascara, but we know how much of a come-from-behind wrestler Mascara is. Laying in those shots to Principe. Back up again. Calling Mascara to attention. Oh, goodness. Tightrope drop kick to Principe. Mascara up, runs in. Out of nowhere, Cazadora into the DDT. Hooks the leg, could steal one. 1, 2. Nearly got it on Jet Mulligan, and that right there is why Principe is so devastating. Out of nowhere, up to the top he goes. Phoenix Splash. 1, 2, and Jet once again kicks out, but in just 2 moves, Principe shifts the tide. Diving moonsault from Principe off the middle rope, spins him over. And once again on the arm. And now Principe giving Jet a taste of his own medicine with the stomps. And going back to the arm, Jet clearly feeling it now as he has just had his arm picked apart, both of them by Mascara. Yakuza kick turns Principe out though. And he's going back to the arm as well. For the 7th or 8th time at this point, a Kame Goye, eat your heart out. Up to the top rope. Swanton once again from Mulligan. 1, 2. No, Mascara kicks out of the signature Swanton of Jet Mulligan. The only thing we haven't seen at this point is the Owen driver. If Mulligan hits that, it may be it. Goes out, back elbow, oh, the disrespect to Mascara. The 619. Back in the ring, picks him up. But Principe with the TNA kick, and he is just assaulting that arm at this point. Principe Mascara could have him ready. Kick in the leg, knee into the Gamagiri to Jet Mulligan. I've never seen Principe do that move before. 1, 2, 3, and Mascara guts it out to get the win. Principe Mascara got it out of victory after being taken to task by Jet Mulligan, putting him away with a Mulligan signature offensive maneuver as well, that Gamagiri. As we now have our semi-final set. And as we get into our main event of the evening, we have got a very interesting matchup as Handsome Hernandez of If Looks Could Kill taking on one half of the tag team champions El Rey Del Air. Nothing on the line here tonight, but if Handsome Hernandez gets a big win here tonight, then that right there could be a future tag team championship match in the waiting. Handsome Hernandez and Max Sanchez, of course, multiple-time tag team champions in Japan and in Mexico. While they went on different paths for a long time in the United States after a 2-year hiatus from teaming with one another, they are back together here in One Warrior Wrestling USA for the first time on American soil as well. Max Sanchez, Handsome Hernandez. ready to go to war. Making their way out here, El Rey Del Air and Gavin Daniels. They are the current tag team champions, but something tells me El Rey Del Air doesn't trust Gavin Daniels to have both championships while he's busy wrestling, so I see they've left them in the backstage area. Probably a smart move on El Rey Del Air's behalf. I mean, it wasn't too long ago that these two wanted to rip each other's heads off, and now they are teaming together for what are, to us anyway, unknown reasons. I trust that these two have maybe settled their differences. I'd like to believe that, I truly would, but I don't know that I can. I mean, these two were on a collision course with their own destinies that was set to end with one of them leaving town. Loser leaves town. And then at the 11th hour, we're now supposed to believe that these two can coexist. I don't know how I feel about that. It's Handsome Hernandez and El Rey Del Air square off here, and Hernandez lethal strikes on this guy. El Rey Del Air, of course, the son of the late, great, legendary Kazuya Mitsushi, a household name of One Warrior Wrestling, former two-time Dragon Warrior champion, two-time tag team champion, four-time World's Heavyweight champion. So El Rey Del Air having a lot to live up to by birthright. Handsome Hernandez and El Rey just squaring up against one another so viciously, so thoroughly. Handsome Hernandez said before the match that he wanted to make El Rey Del Air face his fears. He wanted to make whoever it is behind the mask face the light. Handsome Hernandez up to the top. Could be looking to dive on an unsuspecting El Rey Del Air. Hernandez with the tightrope, but El Rey managed to duck the attempted drop kick. But El Rey grabbing Hernandez and just tossing him over. El Rey Del Air looking to fly up and over with the sunset flip to the floor. And a shooting star on the floor by El Rey Del Air as well. Went for a second one, and Handsome Hernandez got the knees up. Handsome Hernandez staying in control as he throws El Rey in the ring. And El Rey just with the kick. Grabbing Hernandez and just slamming him down with that power slam. Very basic but very effective. El Rey now getting taken over by Handsome Hernandez. But a back elbow to Hernandez puts El Rey back in his place. TNA kick. And a kick in the back as well, as you see Max Sanchez, the Latin American executioner, watching on stoically. Handsome Hernandez back up to the top. Could be looking for another attempt at that drop kick. No! Tornado arm drag by Handsome Hernandez. That was incredible. Can't say I've ever seen anything like that. But then a lifting into a gut buster. 1, 2... and Hernandez nearly got the win on one half of the tag team champions right there. Handsome Hernandez looked like he could have been going for Fear Factor. But El Rey Del Air with another power slam. El Rey Del Air's got to start hitting some big offense here. Facebuster out of the tombstone position. Very interesting offense by El Rey Del Air. Maybe not the most effective, but certainly flashy. El Rey spins him over. Oh, goodness. This is it right here, isn't it? Good. He's got him in the Romero special. Now there's only one thing left to do. Doragon no Akiri. Locked in on Handsome Hernandez. You see Max Sanchez trying to shout from the outside how to escape it, but Hernandez not able to. El Rey started to lose his grip, so let him go. 1, 2, and Hernandez kicks out. Still got some fight in him. But how much is the real question? Going for the Kazuya kill shot, but Handsome Hernandez sweeped the leg. And now has him hooked again for that gut buster. 1, 2, and El Rey kicks out. Handsome Hernandez has got to go in for the kill, and that's just what he intends on doing. The kick, and he has him caught. Fear factor to El Rey Delaire. He doesn't go for the pin immediately. He instead opts to drag El Rey before going for it. Is that going to cost him? 1, 2, and El Rey kicks out. Would he have gotten the win if he was a little more snappy on the pin? Handsome Hernandez needs to have that killer instinct, and as of now, he did not. But Gavin Daniels getting in the face of Handsome Hernandez, and that gives El Rey Delaire the chance to pick the leg. Gavin Daniels playing his game, but El Rey unable to capitalize. Gavin Daniels may have distracted El Rey in the process. Shot to the stomach by Delaire. Has him hooked. Spin doctor from El Rey Delaire. And that's the setup he needs. Looking once again to get him in that Romero special. Floating back. Dordagon Noah Kitty locked in. Will Hernandez submit this time? El Rey's wrenching it. Hernandez is fading, but El Rey can't get him to submit. 1, 2, and Hernandez kicks out. El Rey may have to switch up the strategy, and it looks like he could be doing just that. Has him hooked. Kazuya kill shot. 1, 2, 3, and that gets it done with the massive assist to Gavin Daniels. El Rey Delaire gets a victory here tonight against Handsome Hernandez. And with that, we conclude our broadcast for the evening. Thank you for watching.